Please welcome Governor Bill Walker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for an opportunity to say a few words this morning. You know, I need to update my bio a little bit. I used to own a law firm. I'm now in charge of a bigger law firm, I guess is what somebody said to me recently. You know, innovation and building is my passion and my background. I used to be in the housing building business. I was looking for more creative ways to do that. I looked at your agenda today, and if I didn't have the agenda I already have, I would be here because this is where I should be. This is what I would be doing where I not have other commitments today. I thank you for what you're doing. Preparing to appear today, I Googled something to say, what is this about? And I came up with something that said, I went across something that said, a governor's guide to cluster-based business development. I mean, wow. I mean, it's just through the National Governors Association. And the more time I spent looking at that this morning, I realized that, it's to be creative, innovative, think outside the box to get something accomplished. So let me tell you about the Unity ticket. I didn't realize that's what I did. When we had to be creative to get something done. Byron Malott, is Byron here? I don't see Byron here this morning. Anthony will be speaking today. Byron and I sat down and said, let's be innovative and creative and work together to get something done. And here we are. So I guess we're sort of walking, talking example of what you're doing. We have been recognized, not that that's the goal, but recognized nationally as a group that said, Alaska's really doing it differently. And we are, because that's what we do here. We have to be innovative. Just by the fact that we're Alaskans, we're innovative and we're creative. I took a tour some time ago of the Alaskan Brewing Company brewery here. I just couldn't get it out of my mind to the point I actually talked about it during my State of the State. And of course, somebody had to pick on me a bit and say, we can't balance our budget with beer and carrots. I'm not sure we can't. We had a reception the other night for the legislature, and we had our table set up with beer and carrots over on one side, and just testing their sense of humor. And I know, and I've been on a couple tours of the brewery, and I just can't stop talking about it. So, is there anybody here from the brewery? Good. Hope they're not. I don't know, because I'll misspeak probably. I want to, they have a way that an employee can kind of come up with a brand, and then it goes in the small container. And once it gets, if it's good enough to go to the next, goes to the next level, and then it goes to the next level. So I want a carrot beer of some sort that so I can sort of prove the legislature we can do this on beer and carrots. But my example was value added. The example I was using is value added. My goodness, what a value added opportunity we have in this state. We export so many of our jobs when we export our raw materials. I mean, that just drives me crazy that as a builder to ship in cement, we have all the limestone we need north of Fairbanks. We should be making cement and exporting cement. So there's low cost energy. Brian and I were in Norway, and the economy in Norway is based upon they export their non-renewable energy, put that money in the bank, and they live off the renewable. What a concept. Their theory is once the non-renewable is gone, they'll have enough money in the bank that they'll be able to continue on. Their goal is $3 trillion, and I think they're going to reach it. They're almost at $1 trillion right now. So I think innovation is what it's all about. I mean, I think that's our forefathers in this state, and they survived because they were innovative, and we need to do the same. We've gotten a little bit lax in that regard because once we got money, we just sort of stopped doing that and started just busy counting our money and finding out who gets the last dollar. And that's not what it's about. That's not what made Alaska great. That's not what's going to take us on to the next level. So I applaud what you're doing. I think this is your 4th year. I applaud what you're doing. This is exciting stuff. I love seeing. I was recently at an event, something last year, and somebody has made a wheelchair that is a 4-wheel drive wheelchair that you can go fishing in, and I think it was made here in Alaska. and it showed somebody that was wheelchair bound out fishing someplace where you would not normally be. And it was created here. It was just, I mean, I just think that Alaska just is so ripe with opportunity of innovative, creative. So my role is in my new job is how can I help? One way is I can sometimes get out of the way, and that's certainly easy to do. I come from the private sector. This is my first government job, so I'm sort of getting used to being on this side of the table. I've always been on the other side of the table, sort of beating it loudly. Now I'm on this side of the table, trying to keep people from beating loudly against me. But there are times when we need to get out of the way. There are times that we can be facilitators. There are times that we can sort of pull together and provide the environment. I look at what goes on around this state. In Sitka, they have an incredible research facility on science-based research facility in Sitka. I look at what goes on in Ketchikan. I look at what goes on in Alaska Cold Climate Housing Research. How many have been through that? Everybody else needs to go through that. It is the most, I mean, to me, I'm a builder. That's my Disneyland. I love that place. I'm just drawn everywhere I go to Fairbanks. It's on the cutting edge of building technology in cold climate. We'd be on the cutting edge of development of heavy oil. Alaska should have the absolute cutting edge technology through our university systems on heavy oil. We have more heavy oil than anybody else. It just sits there because we need the technology to get it out. So we are many opportunities, but it starts with this. It starts with this kind of a summit. It starts with people sitting down at the same table having a conversation. We did that in our transition process. We did a little bit of a creative concept, and we brought together 250 Alaskans from across the state. There were about 10,000 we wanted to have at the table, and we took that 10,000 and squeezed it down to 250. So anybody here that wanted to be on the transition team and didn't, I apologize, but it was quite a process. But we made sure that at each table we had people with different views. That we didn't put all the people that were like-minded on subsistence at the same table. We had, the sport fishermen and commercial fishermen and subsistence folks all at the same table. We had oil and gas folks from across that had been litigating with each other for decades. We had them at the same table. Sometimes I had to go and kind of coach some people back in the room because they said, we can't do this. I said, no, you can do it. It's only 2 days. And they did. Someone said after that transition process, there are two decisions we made. One is, do we have a transition process? At $46 a barrel, you stop doing some stuff we normally do. So do we do that? Actually, then it was at $60 a barrel. Now it's at 46. But we said yes, we do. Because we're still Alaskans. We're not defined by the price of oil. We're still Alaskans. So we said yes, we're going to have a transition process. The second was, are we going to have, and we had it at the university, which was it was very appropriate. In a classroom environment, kind of an academic environment, we thought that was appropriate. Some suggested, a hotel retreat in Girdwood or something. No. We're going to use the university facilities. The next step was, we're going to make it open to the public. And they said, you open to the public, you can get a lot of people coming in here that, you are not part of the team and all that. We said, yes, we're going to make it open to the public. The next decision was, are we going to make it open to the media? Someone said, Dabs, you do not let the media come in. And I said, you know what? This is our first step. If we make our first step behind closed doors, what message are we saying? Invite the media to come in. Welcome them. And they were very respectful. They were not disruptive at all. And it was a very good process. But out of it, we put these incongruous groups together, and afterwards, after 2.5 days, they wouldn't split apart. They said, you might end the transition process, but you're not going to end our relationship. And so we've continued to get reports from them, ideas from them about what we can do more. Somebody told me after the transition, two things that stuck in my mind. One was somebody said they thought we made more progress on subsistence issues than had been made in the last 30 years because we had the right people talking to each other, and they'd never talked to each other, and that was progress. Somebody from one of the villages sent in an email and said a generational Alaskan, he felt more like an Alaskan that weekend than he'd ever felt before. So that's what it's about, is people coming together, having a conversation, sitting around the same table, and discussing issues of mutual interest, concerns, and maybe people come from different sides of it. And it might be a little bit unusual for industry to do that because somebody would be afraid about some trade secret's going to go here or there, or protective of that. I don't think so. I think that sitting around the same table is a wonderful concept. Communication is a wonderful thing that we don't have enough of. Sometimes we communicate through litigation rather than through conversation. And so So we're doing some innovative stuff within our administration. Somebody looked at our cabinet the other day, which is almost set. We have one more person to announce, which I think will be this week. They said, well, what are you? We can't tell which kind of a group you are. You don't, some look like you're a Republican group, some like you're a Democratic group. What are you? So we're an Alaskan group. We're just a bunch of Alaskans that have sat down and said, we're going to solve this as Alaskans, these issues. We're going to address these issues as Alaskans, not as one party or another party. So it's exciting to do that. And so we're doing our experiment, our sort of cluster-based concept is we're taking that into the government sector and inviting others to the table. We have, as we go through budget challenges, one of the first things we did is reach out to Alaskans. We have on our website, there's a place to click on the website and provide input on how we can save money. And in the first hour, we got 1,800 responses. And we've gotten thousands since then. People are hungry to provide input, and we welcome that. And we've done it in such a way that it can be anonymous, that people that work for government, sometimes people, the best, most creative thoughts have come from people that work within the system that we're trying to streamline a bit. So don't hesitate to go to that. That's still up. The big grand prize is you get to have lunch with Byron Malott and myself when the top 5 suggestions that come in. But we're looking for creative ways, and we've gotten a lot of creative ways, because we think the answers, we don't have a monopoly on the answers in our administration. We know that. We admit that. We know the answers are out in Alaska with Alaskans. So again, I wish I could stay here for the entire day. I wish I could stay for the whole conference. I like it very much, but my schedulers tell me otherwise. So thank you again for an opportunity to say a few words. Thank you for what you do. Thank you what you're going to do for this great state of Alaska. Any way we can help, if we're in the way, let us know. We'll get out of the way. If we can help in some way that doesn't involve money, let me know that as well. But you know, I think that we can. I think that at $50 oil, I may be a little bit optimistic, we can do things that we couldn't do at $150 oil. And it's time we sort of be creative, be Alaskans again. And as I said in Fairbanks a while back, when I was born in Fairbanks, the price of oil was $0. So it's come up $46 since I was born. So I have to look at it. I'm a glass is half full kind of person. I'm very optimistic about the future of Alaska. I'm very excited about being governor of this great state, excited about the potential of this state, an opportunity for us to sort of look at our model differently, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to. Anytime I can take a page out of a playbook from somebody else is doing something I think is better, I'm going to do that because that's what we should be doing. We should be looking elsewhere and bring home what's working elsewhere. There's a lot of things that are working perfectly here, and that's great. But I know we can do better. I know we can do better on value added. I know we can get the cost of energy. I just want the lowest, my vision for Alaska is the lowest cost energy in the nation, not the highest cost energy in the nation. When I told President Obama that about a month ago, he was surprised. He said, really? How could Alaska have the highest cost energy? I said, because we don't use it, we don't do it properly, and we're going to do it. So, again, thank you very much for the opportunity. Congratulations on what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing. I'll look forward to hear the results of, and I'm sure I will see the progress, and hopefully at some point we'll have some carrot beer out there that somebody can have some of that. Thank you very much.